In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we venture to the men in the East, the famous St. Catherine Cricket Club in Bayfield. There's so much to learn about them. We are excited. This is We. We're here at a prestigious club, St. Catherine in Bayfield, St. Philip, with Andrew Mason. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, and good to be at my club, St. Catherine's.
Yeah, you've been here for many years, Andrew, and earlier today, on the eve of the new 3-day season, you made a presentation to a club. What does that mean to you as a club member making that contribution earlier today?
I get very emotional about St. Catherine's sometimes. I feel as if I would cry, given what I know of the club, what we've gone through. And it all started as a whippersnapper for me back in the late 70s, coming and watching Trevor Clark, who passed recently, Victor Percy, Buffett take some brilliant catches at slip, Albert Proverbs bowling some big off breaks, Michael Barr, and, the former Chief Fire Officer Clifford Clark, very much a member of St. Catherine's, and of course, Telly Payne. They all wanted to get Telly Payne. I remember when he first came to St. Catherine's, everybody wanted Thurston Payne, but he stayed at this club. And I will always be a St. Catherine's man. And talking about the presentation, it's not the first time I've done it for St. Catherine's. I remember Dane Maynard, seeing Dane Maynard bowl at Haynesville. And I took him to Bayfield. I remember going to Flat Rock and saw Junior Paris and took him to Bayfield. Terry Connell, the left arm spinner. So it's something that I have done for quite a long time. And if you ask me, my biggest disappointment as a cricket commentator is that Dane Maynard did not go on to play Test cricket. When I saw Dane Maynard, Stephen, I thought he had everything. Wonderful speed, good bouncers, excellent fielder, and as he turned out to be a very good batsman. In fact, when he stopped bowling, he opened the batting for St. Catherine's for many years. So it goes a long way, and I would always be a St. Catherine's man.
Early today, we had a presentation by one of the club members to the club, and Andrew Mason is a person who's been around the club. But for you as an administrator, how do you intend to manage those funds that were contributed there?
Those funds were welcome. It's not only the funds which we got from Andrew himself, and David Mason as well, but Andrew finds every opportunity to promote St. Catherine's, and for that we are deeply indebted to him. We intend to seek sponsorship from other companies as well. There are other favorable prospects in the future. For me, though, St. Catherine's need a sustainable source of funding if, in fact, we want to achieve the kind of strategic objectives we've set the club for the next 5 and indeed 10 years when we celebrate our 100th anniversary.
What do you think is really needed to help a club like St. Catherine and by extension those other clubs that are struggling in Barbados?
That's a very good question you're asking. Now, recently retired Secretary Norman Mason was Secretary of St. Catherine's for 38 years. You see our President, Relly Stewart, you can't do without him. So club life has taken a beating. There's no doubt about that. And those stalwarts will remain with the clubs because they recognize their importance. So we have to get club life going again. There's no doubt about it.
Following the start of the local season back on April 23rd, and as one of the key administrators within the club, how has it been actually having to prepare these young men to play for such a famous club?
It has been a challenge coming out of we're not through the COVID situation yet, but the COVID has been a setback in terms of practice and a whole host of other things as well. But we think we have managed to survive. We think that we have a good team and that we could put a good, strong challenge in the coming year. We know that we're on the verge of demotion a couple of years ago, so we intend to set it right, so to speak, and show people what St. Catherine's can do.
What do you really wish for Barbados' cricket going forward?
Well, at this level, I hope to see perhaps a bit more commitment. The reality is that things have changed. People are struggling to keep a job. And these are the realities of life. And once we can get that solved, once we can get our cricketers being able to play the game without maybe having to steal some time from work, that is going to help. I think the youth program that I spoke about, Ulrich Batson has done a wonderful job. Once we get that coming through, and youth programs are very significant around the country. Look at what happens at Wanderers. Craig Brathwaite, the captain, has come through that program. And the point is that once that continues with the help of the BCA, because we are very organized. Don't talk about other countries. I go to other countries. Cricket in Barbados is organized. And I want to compliment you and the Barbados Cricket Association for placing the kind of emphasis on cricket, because the reality is they've done a wonderful job. And once you continue to do that with the energy and the commitment of the players, I see Barbados cricket continuing to be strong.